So I was quite sad for a while after this and getting quite down on myself. But I finally went to a counsellor a couple of weeks ago, basically to kick the drugs and alcohol and sort my shit out, basically. And for years I've been far too proud to go to a counsellor. But when I got there, I realised it's just another excuse for me to talk about myself for an hour. It's fucking brilliant. It's surprising, though, in therapy how quickly shit gets Freudian. Like, within 10 minutes, I found myself telling the counsellor, well, my mother cheated on her father. Is Paddy and my grandbaby the same person? That's how we roll in the Waikato. But then we got on to sort of how I have questionable morals when it comes to the woman I choose to associate with. Like I was with this one girl and she told me that she'd done some absolutely horrible things for a cigarette. So I gave her one and then a cigarette. Another girl told me that another girl took my pants off with one sweep of her leg, completely off. I was really, really impressed until she told me she was a professional. And another thing he told me was that I have an addictive personality, and that's led to a lot of restraining orders. This is crazy. And he told me that I need adoration in my life to fulfill myself. I need other people's adoration. And I could either live like this, for the rest of my life, or I could try and address the problem. So 2 weeks later, I made myself a fan page on Facebook. I went along to a different counsellor the next time, and get this, she was blind. I don't know what it was that made me feel more comfortable with her, but for some reason I thought that, living with a disability for your whole life, you're going to be a nicer person. Which is not necessarily true. I could think of a lot of Vietnam vets and things that are just like, oh, the world screwed me over in a wheelchair. Fuck that shit. But, she was a counsellor, so I think my assumption was quite safe. But when you've lived with a disability like blindness for your entire life, sitting there all day and listening to other people's problems must get fucking trivial. And it would be really hard to not just sit there and take the piss out of them the whole time. Which I think she does a little bit. Because I was ranting on for an hour, and she kept replying, I see. It says a lot about yourself when you need to seek help from a blind person, really. Especially when you ask her for guidance, and she lends you her dog. So after my injury, I was prescribed tramadol, which is a synthetic morphine. It's highly addictive. And I found, even though I was on it for a couple of weeks, I found it was really difficult to get off, to kick it basically. And I tried a lot of different ways of breaking the habit. I tried cold turkey, but that was no good without the rest of the sandwich. And then I tried some alternative therapies, like that Chinese thing with needles. What's it called? Anyone? Heroin. Thanks, I've been Lockie Rhodes. Good night. Woo!